Oh, we're comparing stats. Baby girl doesn't know that I am Tom Brady at this game. Married at 18, divorced at 21. Second marriage, married at 25, divorced at 28. Third engagement, engaged at 29, ended it at 30, but I kept the ring. I'm still keeping Tom Brady on his toes. We should not be afraid to leave these men. We are not stuck with these people. Marriage is not a sanctimonious thing. It is paperwork. It's something, it's a commitment you make to someone. But if you feel like you're not getting anything from that commitment and you're trying, you gotta go. You gotta go. You have to go. I know it's difficult to fill out paperwork and to make appointments and to do all of these things, but this is your fucking life. Do you want to be stuck with someone? Period. Do you want to be stuck with someone?
Let me just say.
You're obviously just going to talk shit because of who is talking.
Getting marriage advice from a porn star is like getting health advice from Lizzo. Somebody she's younger than us. I think she's early 30s, maybe. I think she's younger than you, actually. I think she's 27, 28. Somebody that has had 2 failed marriages and a failed engagement giving marriage advice is comically laughable. Also, you glugged for a living. I'm like, why are you giving young girls advice? You failed. Do you know her comparison to Tom Brady? Tom Brady has 7 Super Bowl rings. You lost all of yours. How can you give women advice and expect it to be sound?
Marriage, I don't think, is something you should keep jumping in and out of. That's wild to me. I think marriage is something, as a man, you should wait to propose to the partner and make sure it's definitely the right person. Because if you're all in your lovey-dovey stage and you propose and she says yes, and then it doesn't work out, she can't be to blame when you're the one who proposed, okay?
Wait, hold on. Say that again, please.
Right, so.
I just want to make sure I heard that properly.
Yes. Marriage is something that I don't think you should jump in and out of.
Correct.
I think marriage should be something potentially you do once in your life if you're lucky. I think as a man, you should wait for the right moment to propose to your partner and make sure they're the right person before doing so. Don't just jump into proposing to someone very early on into a relationship.
Correct.
Give yourself time. Because if you do it too early and something goes wrong, the woman can't be to blame if she's jumping from marriage to marriage if the guys propose her at a time where she's all lovey-dovey and she says yes.
Of course she can take some of the blame.
Hold on, you're misunderstanding my point. Relax.
I'm
relax.
Go on.
Okay. The man and woman can both be to blame for the marriage falling apart. I'm not saying it's the man's fault why it's falling apart. I'm saying if a woman has got into a few different marriages, she can't necessarily be to blame if she's, I don't know how to word this without you misunderstanding it. Like, she could be the problem in the relationship or in the marriage, and that's why it falls apart, yes. But she can't be to blame if she's jumped into loads of different ones, because if these men are proposing to her and she wants to be with them and she says yes, it's not her fault she's got married that many times, is what I'm trying to say. Does it make sense?
I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay, let's just make one thing clear. I hear what you just said. I strongly disagree with what you just said. I am not misunderstanding you.
It doesn't make sense what I'm trying to say. I know I haven't explained it clear enough.
Okay, well, just based on what you said, of course she can be to blame, because if she's done it multiple times, the first time I could make concessions and be like, she was swept up in the moment, I would still put some of the blame on her. If you're Mia Khalifa and you've done it 3 times, of course, I'm going to be like, yes, any guy that is proposing to Mia Khalifa, I would say you should wear the dumb hat and sit in the corner. You deserve exactly what you get.
This is what I'm saying. She might be the problem as to why the relationship has failed and the marriage has broken down and they've got a divorce. Yes, she can be to blame for that. But she can't be to blame for all these men proposing to her if that's what they want to do. And she's got married that many times. It's not her fault if these men propose to her.
No, it's not her fault if they propose to her. It's her fault if she says yes again.
So she's in love with this new guy. Okay, when you get into a relationship, you imagine that you're going to be with this person forever. Otherwise, what's the point in being in a relationship?
Well, that's what we'd like to think. I don't know about people these days.
Yeah, I get it, but hypothetically speaking, So if she's gotten with this next person now and she thinks this could be the one and he thinks this could be the one and he proposes, is she supposed to say no?
No, it's not that
She can't anticipate that it's going to crumble.
It's not that she's supposed to say no. He can't anticipate it's going to crumble either. He's also in the same boat.
Exactly. So no one can really be to blame if a marriage breaks down, because you don't go into marriage with the anticipation that something's going to go wrong. Otherwise, why would you stick a ring on it? It's very expensive.
That's not why you attribute blame. Of course, we don't know if something's going to happen.
Exactly.
But what I'm saying is, because you said she can't be blamed.
But you're judging that she's jumped from marriage to marriage, and because she's a porn star and has had like 2 or 3 failed marriages, that she shouldn't be given advice. But if she's been in these situations and they've gone wrong, and same way you'd leave a relationship if it wasn't going right is the same way she's left the marriage. How can you say no one should take advice from her when all she's saying is that you don't have to stay in a marriage if it's not for you?
Because the person and the reasons for why she's saying you shouldn't stay in the marriage are very flippant. We both agree that you should try your best to make your marriage work.
Yes.
Obviously, we're not like Mr. Enjoy. If I start smacking you around the face, you have grounds to leave.
Yeah.
If I'm doing any level of abusive things, if I'm putting the children in harm's way or cheating, I agree. The woman or the man should step out. But someone that has gone through 3 marriages before she's even 30 years old is like that's like me saying, Sab, I'm going to teach you how to drive, and I've crashed 6 cars.
Okay, right. So let's get Angelina Jolie. Yeah.
I don't know anything about her life at all. You're going to have to clue me up.
Angelina Jolie, I think, got married
kids.
to Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
And then I think they've divorced now, whatever.
Okay.
So she was with him for many years.
Wasn't he married to
essentially
Rachel?
stole him from Jennifer Aniston, yes, and then they're not together anymore. Let's say Angelina Jolie posts the exact same video saying the exact same thing. Are you still going to have a problem with the overall concept of what's being said?
No, the reason I won't have a problem with Angelina...
No,
I'm giving you reasons.
It's the point that she's making.
I'm giving you reasons for why. Angelina Jolie,
yeah.
I don't know if she has her own children or if she's adopted multiple children. I think she adopts bare black kids, right? She just adopts African. She might have even had her own kids.
It's not just African kids she adopts. She adopts children in general.
She adopts children, right? She has been a mother and she's been in a long-term relationship.
Yeah.
I'm not shitting on people that go through relationships, like 10 years, they've got a kid. You're qualified to talk. You have been through it. Mia Khalifa has no children, nothing but failures, nothing to show for it, and she's not even 30 years old yet.
I understand what you're saying. It's very...
Would you take health advice from Lizzo?
Okay, hear me out. Hear me out. I understand what you're saying right now. However, no matter who's saying it, the same concept of the point that's being said applies. If I said, eat your vegetables, yeah, because it's good for you. And then you said, eat your vegetables because it's good for you. And then Mia Khalifa says, eat your vegetables because it's good for you. And then Lizzo says, eat your vegetables because it's good for you. You can't look at Lizzo and say that advice is whack just because she doesn't look like she eats vegetables.
No.
Because the point still remains the same.
So the reasons that you would give for walking away from a marriage,
yeah,
and the reasons Mia Khalifa would give,
yeah,
are going to be drastically different.
But the overall concept remains the same.
No, the overall concept.
Don't stay. What I took from that was don't stay in a marriage if it's not for you. You don't have to do that. That's what I took from it.
No, but that's not good marriage advice. That's very basic advice because we know marriages are complex. You can't just turn around to someone and say, if you don't like something, leave. The good advice might be, let's assess the situation. What is it you don't like?
Yes.
And maybe you're overreacting.
Yeah.
Marriages are something that they should be endured as long as they're not literally someone's kicking the shit out of you or cheating on you.
So it's subjective to each individual marriage breakdown.
Yeah. So then I'll ask you, your people in your family have had successful relationships, right? People we know have had successful relationships. You would turn to somebody who has been married and had children if you were looking for advice about marriage and children. You wouldn't turn to somebody that had failure after failure. Would you, in good conscience, turn to Mia Khalifa for marriage advice?
No, I wouldn't particularly, but I wouldn't look at someone and judge them for having a failed marriage, because we all know relationships are difficult and they do break down all the time. It's just a shame that they got married and then it didn't work out.
Okay, all right, fine. Let's take that then. Mia Khalifa's had 2 failed marriages and 1 failed engagement. Let's say she has 3 failed marriages and 1 failed engagement. 4, 5, 6. At what point will you look at them and be like...
But that's where my issue stands with the men that are proposing to her.
No, forget the men, because we're just focusing on Mia Khalifa now. Listen, I have a very strong opinion on the men that propose to Mia Khalifa. They're donuts, okay?
Can I explain to you why I say that?
Why?
Because if she didn't get married to these men or engaged to the other one, and she was just in a relationship with them and it didn't go well, it's not going to be as like, oh my God, as her getting married and it failing. So where I'm saying is that, yeah, she might not be the best person to be in a relationship with if things keep going wrong. It might not be her, it might, whatever. But what I'm saying is that instead of these guys seeing how a relationship would go with her, they're getting married to her and then it's breaking down. But if I had 3 relationships and all 3 broke down, you're not going to look at it as bad because I wasn't married to these guys, so it's just I've walked away from a relationship.
Yeah, because the commitment and the vows that you speak before your partner are drastically different from you getting a boyfriend on Tinder.
I get it.
It's not you understand that as well. If you commit to somebody, unless they are literally doing something egregious, you're going to try and do your best to make it work, especially if children are involved, right?
I get it.
You're not going to take advice.
There's no kids involved in her one.
There's no kids involved in hers because luckily nobody's stupid enough to let her reproduce. But if you got with another man, if you got with some guy, you would not turn to Mia Khalifa for marriage advice. And what I'm saying is that, you know, when we shit on these guys for giving young boys advice, whoever it might be, let's take Ethan Klein, for example. I've heard him give advice. It's generally not good advice for young boys. We would say he's not qualified to talk about the gym, to talk about living a healthy lifestyle. He might be qualified in terms of how to build a YouTube channel, but that would be as far as it extends, really. You wouldn't turn to somebody that has failed in a particular avenue over and over again in a very short space of time at a very young age and say, yeah, look at this person and get advice from them. Okay,
let's rewind. Because you're saying you wouldn't listen to Mia Khalifa because of her experiences.
And because of who she is.
And because of who she is. But you'd listen to Angelina Jolie because of her experiences.
Because she has experience.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. And like you're saying, you should work for marriage. But whoever's saying it, the advice and the message that's been put out there is still the same message. So either you don't agree with it, and whoever says it, you don't agree, or you do agree with it, but you just don't like the fact that Mia Khalifa said it, because you can't contradict yourself like that.
I can. No, I'm not contradicting myself. What I'm saying is, if someone says to you, gives the advice that Mia Khalifa gave, but let's say it's your mum. Your follow-up question, for when she's saying, ladies, you need to walk away. If your follow-up question is, what would be your reasons for why? That's when you get to learn who's chatting shit and who isn't. And I guarantee you, your mum is going to have a much more educated opinion on reasons for why to walk away versus Mia Khalifa.
I understand, but you're not. No,
I get your point, Sam. I'm listening to what you're saying.
You're saying you'd accept it coming from Angelina Jolie, but that means you agree that you should walk away from marriage if it's no good and it's not working for you.
No, but let me reiterate. I hear what you've just said. Walk away from marriage if it's no good for you, and I would accept it if it came from Angelina Jolie. But the reasons for what is no good, right? If you go to a marriage counselor, you would ask them, what's the reason? You wouldn't go up to a marriage counselor and they say, walk away from your marriage because it's no good. And that's it. Okay. You would ask why. What I'm saying is, the way we pick apart information, for example, I imagine you would be more committed to somebody than some random Becky down the road, right? People break up for all sorts of dumb reasons. You might say to a woman, walk away if it's no good for you. The Becky down the road will say, walk away if it's no good for you. The reasons for why you walk away are going to be drastically different. And what I'm saying is, someone like Mia Khalifa, who has spent most of her life just basically insulting the faith that she comes from by getting on her knees with a hijab on and then pretending to act like a victim, and then getting into relationship after relationship, having them failed, is not qualified to be talking to young girls when we already have a dating crisis. She is the last person.
Do you know the reason why Mia Khalifa's marriages broke down?
We did a video on it before.
Why did her marriage break down? The first guy couldn't take the fact that she was getting railed online. Right. And people were sending it to him.
Mia Khalifa's been out of the corn game for how many years now? Yeah. She's still like top 10. He's never going to be able to escape that. Obviously, any woman, any sane man should be able to understand that you get with someone like Mia Khalifa, Lana Rhodes, Riley Reid, You're never not going to see her getting railed.
Mm-hmm.
So that seemed to be like that taken her aback. Like, oh my God.
So if he's proposed to her and she said yes because she likes him and thinks he could be one, and then he leaves her because he can't handle what he already knew she does, why is that her fault?
No, I never said that's her fault.
But if that's one marriage breakdown, let's say.
That's all her marriage breakdowns.
Okay,
that's all of them.
Okay, so then why
you're
can she
missing my
not?
point.
That's the for why then. So what's the issue with that?
You're missing my point. Mia Khalifa is not qualified, not because the men that chose her are not also donuts. Any man that is going out with a woman that is like the top corn star in the world is a donut if he's looking to have a monogamous relationship where he's not going to be bothered by constant images of her getting railed by BBCs every single day. They're also idiots. I'm not absolving the men. They're jackasses. I'm just saying that Mia Khalifa is also not qualified. Would you, if you were in charge of a church or whatever, or a congregation or whatever it was, you wouldn't have Mia Khalifa come on stage. You'd literally be inviting the devil into the church. She is a succubus. Mia Khalifa is very, very good looking, right? Inside, you know, I am not a fan, obviously. But outside, exterior-wise, she's very attractive. Women are masters at seducing men, and it's easier for someone like Mia Khalifa to do it. She doesn't actually have to put in as much work. She's very experienced in the bedroom, and she's very attractive, right? And Mia Khalifa is well spoken as well. And the more beautiful a woman is, the more likely a man is going to do dumb shit. Now, I'm not putting the blame solely on the woman there. I'm actually putting most of the blame on the guys here. Don't see someone like Mia Khalifa and propose to her. I wouldn't even say date someone like her. She's not the kind of person you bring home to mum. Women that behave like her, they're not the kinds of people you take home to meet your mum. And you shouldn't be surprised when the marriage goes sideways. You shouldn't be surprised if you wake up to DMs of guys sending you pictures of her bent over. No one should be surprised. But the more beautiful the woman is, the less work she has to put into seducing the guy. Because we know what guys are like. They see a gorgeous girl, they start acting like hyenas. I've bared witness to it. It's not worth it. Now, luckily, I didn't marry no corn star. But definitely when I was younger, I could have done some dumb shit. The more beautiful she is, the less that she needs to do to seduce you into doing some dumb shit like proposing to her. And to be honest with you, someone like Mia Khalifa, who I have like very little respect for, I don't think that she is wearing a mask when she goes out with these guys either. I think she is who she is and they get into a relationship with her. So most of the time you can spot these women a mile away. You can actually see the red flags from down the road. Every now and then you'll meet a girl who is a master at wearing a mask. And yeah, you'll get duped. Like Brittany Renner, I think she was, but even that, her videos all over the internet. So I don't know how the guys did not put two and two together. Marriage is already down as it is and relationships are already fucked up. Stop getting with these women. And for the girls as well, stop getting with people where you can see red flags.
As much as you say you understand what I'm getting at, I think you don't.
What do you think I don't understand?
I don't know. I just think your point is just not really. What's that word? Coinciding. It's not really.
Why do you think I don't understand what you're saying?
Because I just think it's contradictory, if that's a word.
How is it contradictory?
Because you either agree that eat your vegetables because it's good for you, or you don't agree with it. It doesn't matter who says it. I understand it's subjective to what that person's been through and what they're preaching for behind the message, but the overall message stands the same regardless of who says it and regardless of their backstory.
Okay, then can I ask you one question? And
Yes.
I hear what you're saying. Yeah. The overall message is the same regardless of their backstory, who's saying it. Yeah. So we're on the same page. I heard what you said. I understand what you said.
No, you just repeated back what I said.
Okay, I understand what you're saying.
It.
No, I disagree with what you're saying. I understand it. The reason I'm disagreeing... Hey, whoa. No, enough of this. And enough of you guys as well saying, I heard what Sabi said. Listen to me.
Yeah.
Listen to what I'm saying.
Did you see people were saying this gave me so much anxiety to watch?
Yeah, you're about to get more. Listen to what I'm saying. I hear what you're saying. I understand it. I just disagree with it because I think that when you have conversations like that in the real world, the conversation doesn't end there. So if you ask somebody, why am I walking away? You're going to do that.
So that's fine. That's fine. But then you can't say that you agree with it just because Angelina Jolie has said it. Because you need to hear more.
No, I wouldn't just agree with her. I
Okay,
would
but
be willing.
earlier you were saying
Okay,
that you
if I said that, let me rephrase it. I would be
Okay.
willing to sit and listen to her.
Yep.
Because she's been in a long-term relationship.
Uh-huh.
She's fostered multiple children.
Okay.
She's been a mother. I would deem that enough
Okay.
experience for me to give her my ear.
Okay.
If Mia Khalifa turned around to me and said, Mike, I got some relationship advice for you, I'd say get the fuck out.
Okay.
I don't even want to hear what you
Okay,
have to say.
I'm satisfied with that response.
Yeah?
Now let me ask you a question.
Go on.
So, as you know, I've been single for a long time. Does that mean that I can't give somebody valid relationship advice because I've been single for so long?
No, you can give relationship advice. You probably can't give marriage advice.
No. I never mentioned the word marriage.
Mm.
I don't know why you're bringing that in.
Oh, because we're talking about marriage.
No, I'm asking you a separate question now.
No, you can give relationship advice.
Okay. So if
But you were in a relationship for a long time.
Okay, but I've not been in a relationship for a long, long time, and I haven't been able to get into one. Let me explain. Let me explain.
hold
Let me
on.
explain.
Before you
no,
go
no,
on,
no, no, no.
that's
Let me
not
finish.
a fair point.
Let me finish. Let me finish. Let me finish.
You didn't make a
You
fair
can let me
point.
finish?
All right, go on.
Okay. I was in a long-term relationship when I was young. Yeah, I'm talking. Me and this guy broke up when I was 21 years old. Very, very young.
You're
I'm not
not
going to
old.
say my age now, but it's a long time ago. Now,
It's not that long ago.
being single for that many years and not being able to get into a relationship, some would look at me and say, maybe she's the problem or whatever it may be. Why can she not get into a relationship? So then why does that mean I don't have the knowledge to give relationship advice? No, because I think I'm a very intelligent, level-headed person, right? So I like I said to you, I can't take my own advice, but I can give good advice, yeah? So most people could argue that I can't give relationship advice because I've been single for so long and I'm not and haven't been in a really successful relationship. So if you're going to look at it like that, but you're now saying, yes, I can, Mia Khalifa, as someone who's had a couple of failed marriages, why can she not give advice just because of her backstory of guys who are dumping her because they can't handle the fact that she was a corn star when they already knew this information before getting with her?
Because
I'm not trying to defend her, I'm just trying to understand.
Okay, so you were in a relationship, point blank period, right? You're not old,
Correct.
first of all.
Correct.
So it's
Well,
not
I
like
am,
it
but
was.
anyway.
It's not like it was 20 years ago,
Uh-huh.
right? And you have the experience.
Mm-hmm.
If you had never been in a relationship in your life and you'd only observed them, then I'd say yes, you have no leg
Okay.
to stand on. Relationships that you get into every day are very different from marriages, right? And the things that go into them. So yeah, Mia Khalifa has failed every single time. She has no Super Bowl rings like Tom Brady. As a matter of fact, she lost all the rings. You were in a relationship for a set period of time. And the only reason you have not been able to get into a relationship is not because you're not eligible to be in one. I don't know how much more I can really say. But I'm not. I think you understand why you're not in a relationship. There's multiple reasons why. I say?
What, you think I'm going for the wrong man? You've already said it.
You don't choose wisely, in my opinion.
Okay.
I think that you sell yourself short. And
Don't say that. Cut that bit out.
you do so. I mean, you sell yourself short on this channel as
How
well.
am I selling
People
myself
were telling you on
short?
the live stream the other day that you give so much to the channel and you act like you don't.
But saying you sell yourself short sounds like I just sort of like give it up easy and shit when I don't.
No, that's the opposite. Sell yourself short would be the opposite. It means you have a lot to offer and you don't give.
But if these guys are breaking up with her
No, wait. I didn't let me finish.
at
my
no
I didn't
fault of
finish my
her
point.
own,
I didn't finish my point. Because you're using yourself as a marker.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you why what you're saying is invalid. It's not because you're not eligible for a relationship. It's not because you don't understand how relationships work.
Mm-hmm.
It's first of all, you don't go outside. So a lot of people don't even know you exist. Only through this channel, when you decide to go on Instagram, they're like, hey, look at this girl. But you don't reply to anyone's messages anyway. Secondly, I'm sorry, Sab, this is a choice that you make. It's not that you are...
so I should just settle for less than what I want just because.
It's not that you should settle for less. I'm
But
not
it is
saying
though,
that.
because I haven't come across somebody who ideally is what I'm looking for, and the ones that have been have not wanted me. I've not been what they're looking for.
All the guys...
It's not to say that I'm.
All the guys that you've shown me would be you settling for less. You understand that, right? And if I pulled any of your family in
Nah.
here, they'd say the same thing. Yes, they would.
Why would it be me settling for less though?
I'll bleep this part out. they're successful, and just because they're in a career you find attractive and they're tall and they're good looking does not mean they're on your level. What you perceive to be your level is actually, you have it backwards because you have a low opinion of yourself. That's the problem here, because you don't see yourself the way we all
I
see
see myself as, okay, so I see it as,
I'm going to continue this part.
okay, I see it as, for example, there's different leagues. You know when people say, oh, they're out of my league? In some sense, I believe in that, because you see sort of people of a certain good lookingness together, and then you have the other one, and then the other one. And then I see myself as the guys that I'm attracted to are in the markup higher than my markup. But the guys that are in my markup, I'm not attracted to.
But that's the problem here, Sab. What you perceive for yourself is not true.
No, because then I'd be able to get the ones who are in the higher up.
No, but you're just looking at their looks. The kinds of people that you go for are not good people. They're not
anyway,
good.
this ain't about me. This is about Mia Khalifa.
You made it about you.
No, I just tried to use an example of me not being in a relationship. Can I not give relationship advice?
No, but your example is no good.
You delve too deep.
Your example's no good, and it doesn't work in this.
So, okay, but Mia Khalifa, being someone who's been in failed marriages, should be entitled to talk about failed marriages, and it's not her fault if the guys couldn't handle being with her when they knew what they were getting themselves into from the start.
I never said she's not entitled to talk about it. I told young girls, don't listen to her. Do not listen to her. Okay, well, tell them. Would you listen to her?
Would you listen to Mia Khalifa?
No. Would you listen to her?
Would I listen to her?
Would you listen to Mia Khalifa? Is that who you turn to for advice?
It's not who I turn to for advice, but if she was making a valid point, would I think, yeah, I agree with that? Yes, I would. If she was making an invalid point, would I look and go, I don't agree with that? Yes, I would.
Would you just take her points on the surface level? Would you ask them, why are you saying that?
I'd probably take it on surface level,
Well,
yeah.
There's the problem.
Okay, that's fine.
But if you're getting advice from somebody, wouldn't you want to understand the advice?
Yeah.
Well, then you wouldn't look at it on surface level. You'd ask why.
I mean, if we're just looking at that video, surface level, her saying you don't need to stay in a marriage if it doesn't serve you, then naturally as humans you shouldn't stay in things that you don't want to stay in.
Correct.
Yeah, so that's all I've taken from that video. I'm not delving deep into, oh my God, it's Mia Khalifa, the job she does, the amount of failed marriages she's had. I didn't even know she had failed marriages till you told me just now. So surface level is how I've looked at it. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to dive in deep. Why is Mia Khalifa saying this?
All right. Well, we'll let these guys decide. But there's one more thing that I wanted to bring up about Mia Khalifa since we're on the subject. Now, Mia Khalifa became very, very popular through her activities on camera, right? Mm-hmm. One particular film that she did, she decided to throw Islam under the bus, right? Everyone's seen the pictures, all the videos of her getting railed while she's wearing a hijab, which is incredibly disrespectful. And obviously she received all manner of threats for doing that. And she tried to make out like, oh, I don't get it, blah, blah, blah. She doesn't understand why people are so angry at her. Do you know what this donut did the other day? After pretending like she doesn't know why Muslims don't like her. Do you want to take a random guess?
No, but I'm sure you're going to tell me.
She decided to release a jewelry line which she knows is going to offend those people.
What is the jewelry consist of?
Shaitan.world.
Now, I'm sorry, yeah. You can release the jewelry line if you want. You can do whatever you want. But if you try to play dumb and pretend like you don't know why Muslims don't like you, please just put a sock in it. You're so full of shit. It's unbelievable. Would you be surprised if a group of people didn't like you?
Where is she from? Is she like Arab or something?
I think she's from Lebanon. Yeah, she's Lebanese. The Middle East.
So are they like sort of more Muslim
they're
cultures?
It's all Muslim. Let's say me and Sabi released a jewelry line and called it Shaitan. And then we sat on here and pretended like we don't know why people from that faith are upset about it. You can do it if you want. But the acting surprising, this whole time she's been playing a victim where, oh, I've been receiving threats, this, that, and the other. What do you expect? Is anyone surprised? Of all the names to choose, and again, I'm not saying you can't do it. By all means, be as dumb as you want to be. But why are you surprised? Why are you pretending? Why would you even pretend like you didn't know that wearing the hijab whilst you're filming an adult scene was going to get you backlash? Why would you pretend like people weren't going to send you all manner of threats? I'm not saying that they should or shouldn't. I'm saying, why are you pretending? We live in reality. Mia Khalifa is the perfect example of a donut, as far as I'm concerned. That is what a donut looks like. No woman should model themselves after her. All she is physically attractive. That's it. If you strip away her scumbag personality and all the things about her, and you just look at her, yeah, I can understand why men might fawn over her.
I don't know. I don't think she's all that.
I'll be honest in saying physically she's very attractive.
I don't know. I
maybe
kind of disagree.
Well, I mean, most people don't, because that's why she's so popular.
Yeah, I'm giving my personal opinion.
Yeah, that's fine. But if you then add in all her personality traits and the things that she's done and her ignorance and the dumb shit that comes out of her mouth, nobody should want to be anything like this woman. And I hope her jewelry brand fails. Honestly, I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Anything you want to add?
Oh, damn.
I can't stand Mia Khalifa.
Damn. I don't wish bad upon anyone.
Yeah, well, that's why people love you.
Damn. Are we done?
Yeah.